Hello, Terry here, and today we're going to play When We Were Monsters, developed by LegendExGames, who also developed Delphin's Discovery, which I recently played. This one is supposed to be a scary game. I'm not sure if it's horrifying, but it could be scary. I don't really know. So it sets on some sort of post-apocalyptic world story, and there is kind of a family traveling? I don't know, I'm just guessing from the picture. So either way, yeah. Enough talk. Let's play the game, shall we? New game. The city is in shambles. The city... I kinda like the look of the text. It kinda feels cinematic. In shambles. The city... Oh yeah, it is. What happened here? A Gundam battle? A tall building casts a much welcome shadow over my companion and me. It is nice to hide away from the burning sun. Burning sun? Okay, so either you are the monster or the sun is a laser. She doesn't seem to agree with me. The young girl stands a few feet ahead of me, basking in the glow of the unforgiving warmth. These days, everything seems unbearably warm. The sun, the thick air, these tattered clothes. But 15 doesn't seem to mind at all. 15 prefers well-lit spaces, open areas, and I guess very warm air. Yeah, so is 15 a human or a lizard? I noticed that she's clutching her book bag tightly. Okay, she's a human. As if she's holding precious jewel inside. If she is, they wouldn't be worth much anymore, but she knows. But she knows that better than anyone. Even better than me.
Come on, kid. Let's go find some shelter. Unless you want to walk around all day.
Indeed. Casper, that is nice.
No. What am I saying? Of course you do.
Of course you do. You want to walk all day around. Ah, 15. 15 gives me a sideways glance, a look full of wonder and curiosity. If it were up to her, we sleep on the boiling pavement. What? We eat on the boiling pavement and we dance on the boiling pavement. What? I don't want to do that. Oh, there's literally number 15 on her head. But that is an epic haircut though. Luckily, I'm the one in charge of being responsible. That means no impromptu camping trips in the remain of the city. Because, though it may look like it, we are not alone. So long as people still roam about, Palmino City or not, so do the monsters they become. There was certainly a beginning to that. A hazy, dizzy, confusing beginning where monsters sprung up upon this very street with an insatiable need to kill their human counterparts. However, it happened. Though there was a beginning, I certainly can see an end in sight. Only adapting, trying not to become like the scaly, fuzzy beast, all the while still inhabiting the same space they have invaded. The once bustling commuter city is now a war zone. So the Fury have taken over. RIP. A place of muddled pieces and misled intentions. The monster that the government had tried so hard to dispel are still here, roaming about like cockroaches. Except these cockroaches can kill you. So, who won in the end? I guess it's whoever is left to tell the story, and the monster were never in a position to do much speaking. 15 snaps her head to me and waits for me to point out a direction to walk in. It is our ritual. I move, she follows. I don't want it to always be this way, but 15... Well...
Do you want to stay out here a little longer?
Yeah, sure, why not? Enjoying the sun. She shakes her head and bounces to my side, though I can see the longing look she gives to the empty street on our side. She is only a child and it's still early out. We'll have time to find shelter before nightfall. We always do. This has a very, how to say it? PS2 looking vibe? I don't know. It kinda reminds me of the game I played back then. I motion to the right of us where 15 gaze is lingering. There isn't anything but some old cars and piles of debris. Maybe she sees something different. Maybe. Or maybe I'm just too old. 15 eyes light up, but then she shakes her head as if it's too good to be true.
We still have some time.
Indeed. Are we?
You sure?
Mm-hmm. Her voice is hoarse as she croaks out. Her voice is hoarse as she croaks out her question.
Yes, go ahead. Have some fun.
Yay! Also, well, as much fun as a child can have in this dilapidated world. Dilapidated. Sorry, how do you read that? Dilapidated world. And there she goes. 15 nods at me with a smile before running off a few feet away. She remains a nice shot, but is far enough to have some privacy of her own. I walk towards one of the old rust buckets, red or brown, I can no longer tell anymore. I used to have one of these before the world had fully gone to shit. A car, I mean. I used it to go to work at the old supermarket, back in the days when people could buy what they needed. Well, lucky for me, I doesn't have any car, so I'm not sure. Am I supposed to be happy or not? Because I don't have attachment to them now. Back when people were still people. I shake my head at the thought, letting the memory flutter into the wind. The overpriced supermarket is no longer standing, not in one piece at least. It was the first place to be picked clean for loot when the monster came, and the first one to crumble when the bombs fell. But why are they targeting the supermarket with bombs? Target the monster, not the supermarket. 15 is kneeling down the ground, holding something in her hand. Should I investigate or search the car for something useful? Wait, what's the difference? Search cars? We trust 15? With 15 a few feet ahead of me and still in my view, I decide to take this opportunity to look for supplies. We are low on food, but not completely out, indeed. We could survive for under a few days on canned peaches and mystery meat. Wait. Oh, mystery meat, not mystery meat. The first car is locked, but the window is slightly open, so I'm able to force my way in. Check the glove compartment, check the trunk, leave the glove. The trunk is still closed, but I don't know, is it? You know, the usual. Is the image really depicts the reality? Check the trunk. It's jammed. I tried to jimmy the trunk open, but it's locked pretty tightly. I don't know if it's worth trying to get into it. Let's keep looking, there might be a way. Should I check something else? Yes, you should, glove compartment. I lean over the front seat to reach for the glove compartment. It is finicky, but with enough force I'm able to jiggle it open. I rummage through it, my hand stopping on a few pieces of wrap candy? They may be melted, but I can recognize those bright colors and sugary texture anywhere. I haven't had candy in years. Though 15 has ever even tried one. I decide to pocket the slightly melted confectionaries. Should I check something else? Check the back seat. I crawl into the backseat of the car. There are piles of trash, old fast food wrappers, empty drink containers, and a small cardboard box. All before the end, no doubt. Is any of this even useful? Take the empty drink cups, take the box, take the fast food wrappers. What? No? The box or the empty drink cups seems useful. A quick glance at 15 calms my nerves. She is such a good girl, never any trouble inside when she's around. She looks up at me and waves with something in her hand, a rock of some sort. I don't get a good look good look as she turns around rather quickly, enraptured in whatever it is that she's doing. Keep searching, I trust her. I decide to let her play longer, don't know when the next time we'll be able to stop like this will be. With food supplies low, we'll have to move out of the city eventually. There's another car not too far away from us. I decide to check it and see if I can find any more supplies. Okay. The door is slightly ajar. We didn't take any other thing? Alright. Moving to open it is easy, but it became clear why it was propped open to begin with. Someone had already gone through this car, maybe the original owners, leaving almost nothing left behind. I don't know, the original owner wouldn't destroy the car. Almost nothing. I see a small orange bag poking out from the back seat. I tug on it. Once, twice, 3 times, until it finally gives way. Though I'm disappointed to see it's only an empty plastic bag.
Great. More trash.
Yes. Take the bag, toss the bag. Why there's an option for a plastic bag? Take the bag. It's time to get going. I get 15 attention and the two of us begin to walk forward.
Where are we going?
I don't know, somewhere. Wait. Oh, interesting. It is a good question that I don't have the answer to just yet.
We're looking for a place to hunker down.
Yes.
Not home.
No, kid, everything is destroyed around here.
Not yet.
Not yet, yes. We still haven't found it, but one day we will, even if it's only temporary. We walk for what feels like hours, the hot sun bathing on our face. Though it isn't any darker out, so we must not have been out here for too long. 15 looks fine, energetic almost, as she swings her arms. I really am just getting old. I place a hand on my lower back and stretch slightly. 15 lowers her eyes for a moment, stopping in her tracks. She points to her right at a building resembling an old, multi-tiered parking lot. There what? And oh yeah, and what did you do back then? I want to know. Some of the upper levels are missing half their structure, leaving the sides open, while the lower floors are walled in securely. Years ago, I would have taken my niece to the mall and park at the very top. She liked to see those winding curves as we drove higher and higher. Where is your niece now? It is probably less exciting when you're walking. I wonder if 15 would like it. I wave the thick way, no doubt she has no idea where she's pointing or what it once was.
I'm not so sure that place is the safest to spend the night.
Yeah. I'm not sure either because I don't know anything. Perhaps it is safe? She shakes her head, which she seems to have a habit of doing lately.
Someone needs help.
Alright. My eyes dart from her face to the building, though I see nothing out of the ordinary. People don't travel through Palmeno City anymore. At first, it was because of radiation from the bombs. People thought it made them into something worse than the monsters. Then it was because of the Horde, who seemed to thrive on the destruction. What is the Horde? And then all of a sudden, there was no one left. No monster, no humans, just remnant of what once was. Memories.
I hear them calling for help.
I'm not sure. She cups her hand behind her eyes. Nope, what? Behind her ears, eyes lowered to focus on the call she is supposedly hearing. From this angle I can see the 15 tattoo barely poking out underneath the patches of hair that have been growing back since I first met the girl months ago. For some reason, the hair in that spot hadn't wanted to grow back fully. A reminder of the girl's old life. She was the only other person still wandering the city. The only other person who kept coming back to this desolate place. Who is the other person? You? She never told me why we had kept meeting here serendipitously, but considering I haven't told her much either, I don't plan to ask. Okay, so it is you. Sometimes I think it's better not knowing the past. Makes moving into the future easier, or at least surviving the present. A frown makes its way to her face as she tucks her earlobe.
You don't hear it?
No, I don't hear anything. I don't.
I don't hear anything.
Yeah,
Of course, I'm old as sin.
alright. 15 tilts her head to the side, trying to decipher what I'm saying.
Never mind.
Alright. 15 puts her arms around herself and hugs her torso tightly. She looks a bit uncomfortable, eyes drifting from me to the parking lot. I honestly don't hear a thing, no tapping, no whimpering, not so much as a rustle. I don't know how she is able to hear anything with the building so far to our right. But 15 seems convinced, and even though she may be wrong, I don't have the heart to tell her otherwise. What harm could a little investigating do?
Want to check it out?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yes, please.
Mm-hmm.
I mean...
You seems very... how do you say it? Very convinced? Not convinced. What is the word in English? Full of spirit to check it out? Her voice trails off as she looks at me with wide eyes, a judgment lapse, as if she had said too much. It is peculiar, and I can't help but lower my eyes at the girl who shrinks back.
You're the boss.
Okay.
There ain't a boss, kid.
Uh-huh, there ain't a boss here. She remains silent, watching me intently.
You see anybody working any jobs here?
No. No, I don't. She shakes her head no. No one has worked in decades, especially not in this abandoned city.
So, then you don't need to answer to anyone. Not even me.
Indeed. 15 reaches up to her head and places the fingers over her tattoo, her brand. Whatever it stands for doesn't apply to her anymore, not with me.
Now, if you still want to go, let's go.
Alright then, let's go. She clutches her book bag strapped tightly and walks forward, not looking back to see if I'm following. But I am. She must know that I have no intention of leaving her, not like I did with Stephanie all those years ago. Who is Stephanie? Your nephew? I am a shitty uncle, but I won't be making the same mistake twice. So it is Stephanie, your nephew. How old would she has been now? No longer a child, but a full-grown adult starting college if not for this mess. Huh? I remember hearing my sister prattle on for hours about how I get nowhere in life without a degree. I wasn't a good enough role model to my niece. But here we are now. Now look at us. Where's my sister now? Gone. My thoughts shift as I almost lose sight of 15. Her pace quickens, her eyes focus only ahead of her. Whatever she thinks she hears has her in some kind of trance. It actually worries me a bit. I cup my hand to my ear in an attempt to hear better, but still, there's nothing.
Coming?
Yeah, sure.
Yep, I'm watching your six.
Indeed. She stops and looks at me with furrowed brows, then begins to count on her fingers. No, I don't mean that 6.
6?
You're back, kid.
Yeah, you're back, kid. 15 touches the back of her head and frowns. No, not that.
Not 6. 15.
Yeah, not that.
No, 6. Like on a clock.
Yeah, 6 o'clock. Like, you know, since 6 at the bottom and bottom is back, something like that. This just confused her even more. She's probably never seen a clock in her life. They are not so common anymore. I've almost forgotten.
I can't hear that sound. So you gotta lead the way, and I'll make sure no one sneaks up on us.
Alright, that's pretty simple.
Okay.
Okay.
Hello. 15 leads us up a winding path toward the center of the old mall's parking lot. There are a surprising amount of cars on the way to our destination. People just pick up and left everything behind, yes. Or worse. They didn't even try to leave, collapsed with the rest of the city, but none of that concerns 15. I don't know her age for sure, but given her mannerism, how excited she gets at the prospect of playing around, her innocence and wide-eyed wonder as she looks at the world. It is reminiscent of my niece, who was 13 when she died. My life has been a downward spiral ever since, a serendipitous catalyst for the end of my world. Point is, 15 wasn't alive when our civilization was whole. This hellfire is all she known and probably all she ever will know. I don't know what's worse, having a good society and losing it, or never knowing it and hoping to see it one day. I don't know. I don't know. I think the society back then is kind of bad too. Sometimes I think I'm the lucky one, and other times I just wish I never remembered at all. Not the bustling streets, the little annoyance like looking for parking or waiting in line for ice cream in the warm summer heat. Even the bad memories are good in comparison to this. Missing something hurts a lot when you know you could have appreciated what you had more. Look what? A strangled gargling noise echoes throughout the big parking lot. I'm not sure that's a human voice. This time I don't have to strain my ears to hear it. It is an unmistakable cry. Immediately I jump in front of 15. The room we are in, almost completely empty, save from some garbage lying on the ground and a pile of debris. A noisy pile of debris. Poking out from the top of the stash of broken stone is a fuzzy arm. I don't have to go any closer to know what it belongs to. A monster.
This is what you heard?
Yes. 15 nods affirmatively.
They need help.
Really?
It's a monster.
Yeah.
They're stuck.
Stuck? I don't know how it would have managed to get trapped under a pile of rubble, but that's not our problem. In fact, it saves us the trouble of having to subdue it ourselves. As I'm about to voice this, I feel a small pressure on my back. 15 has inched forward, pushing past me to get to the monster.
15, that thing is a monster.
Yes. She ignores me and kneels down to dig out the pile of rubble.
15!
She snaps her head at me.
No boss.
Wow, that is actually a pretty good reply. I like that. Damn it, she's using what I said against me. Yes, of course, she has no boss. Her obedience isn't what's up for debate. It's her desire to help a monster.
I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I'm trying to warn you.
Sure.
Not to help.
Monsters are not like you and me. They can't use their brains. They just wander around.
And attack us is what I want to say, but truly I've never been close enough to one of them to see how far they push their blind rage.
They feel.
Good point.
They cause more hurt to us humans than that pile of rocks is inflicting onto it.
15 decides that talking to me is worthless and turns her attention to the rocks in front of her. She's too small, she can do it on her own.
Trust
Who?
me.
Fine.
Trust me.
She repeats the sentiment slowly and to herself. The monster, I guess, sensing us near, begins to shriek louder. I can see its exposed arm shaking violently. The monster thrashes about, knocking a few rocks over, but still not enough for 15 to clear the way. Desperately, she looks at me.
Please.
You know, kid, if we die here, at least we won't enjoy the nice sun anymore, so let's go. The hot sun. I have to help her, monster or not. 15 is all I have in this world, so if she feels this strongly about something, I owe it to her to actually listen. I kneel down by 15's side. Carefully I pick up the first rock. and then the next one underneath it. 15 helps by moving the smaller rocks from the sides. Eventually it becomes clear as the monster thrusts about that it can finally get out on its own. I cautioned 15 away from the pile and she takes several steps backward with me. Yes. Oh. Oh. So that's how you look like. It doesn't look like a monster, it looks like a stinky rat. With a lot of strength, the monster pushes the last remaining rocks away from its body. Alright. They tumble about, hitting the area around 15 and I see her flinch, but she doesn't back away anymore. Instead, she takes a cautious steps forward. The monster, though relatively small in stature, is grotesque. No, it's not grotesque, it just looks stinky. With unnaturally long and pointed ears, coarse dark grey fur, and a single eye that looks like it's staring into my soul, an uneasiness settles into my stomach. These creatures couldn't have been born onto this earth without some kind of mutation, right? An experiment gone wrong. Cells genetically transformed in a lab. Hello there. Whatever the case, I have a hard time believing that they have always existed as part of our world. The monster has obviously tired itself out and is sitting on the floor. Despite us helping it out, the monster seems hesitant but not hostile. Not yet, anyway. It tilts its head to the side for a moment, watching us curiously. 15 treats the creature like a puppy, holding her hand out as she takes yet another step towards it.
15.
Yeah. 15. I know we all have desires to pet something, or all animals like tiger or bear, but sometimes it's better if we not. Wait, not sometimes, usually.
They're hurt.
When 15 gets a few feet away from the monster, it begins to wail, scurrying off. 15 stumbles backwards in fright, placing a hand over her heart.
Are you okay?
She nods but turns her head away from me slightly. She begins to walk to the spot where the monster had just been.
Blood.
Oh, okay. Blood? The monster must have gotten hurt from the rocks.
Don't say it.
Don't say what?
Please.
Yep, she says it.
It can help itself. We freed it. What more can we do? I'm not a monster, doctor.
Well, you're also not a human doctor, so what will you do when 15 gets sick? Or you will say that you're not a doctor, so you can help? 15 grabs hold of my hand. Hers are much smaller and delicate than mine. She brings it up to the tattoo on her head.
Free. Not safe.
Okay. I freeze when I feel the indent of the tattoo underneath my fingertips. It's like a brand etched into her skin. Even in a fuck-up place like this, who tattoos a damn child? The question I hadn't wanted to ask is now bubbling to the surface. What was 15 freed from exactly? Does she consider her time with me unsafe? Am I just another shackle for her?
Not by themselves.
That was apparently enough of a speech for her. 15 let go of my hand and it drops to my side. I don't know what to make of the look of determination and fear on her face. She's already made up her mind and she isn't going to change it.
Not sorry.
Okay, understandable, 15. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. This is the last thing I hear from her as she bolts off in the direction of the monster.
Fucking hell.
Yep. Am I about to chase after this monster just to catch up to 15? A monster? There aren't any scientists around who can tell us where the monster came from or how dangerous they are in the long term. One day we had been sitting on our couches watching daytime television, and the next we were being ushered into quarantine zones. Before anyone could figure out what was really happening, people began to die off and the government couldn't get a handle on it. Or at least, that's what I think. Who knows anymore? All I can All I can confidently say is that the people who are most likely to know anything about the origin of those monsters have been dead for nearly 2 decades now. Better to keep our distance from snarling beasts than to get eaten, shoot up, and spit out. I had heard a great many stories from people who had passed through the city over the years I've been here. I've heard about what this monster had done to others, from as minuscule as scratches to as gruesome as devouring people whole. Anyone who was smart enough stayed away before they could truly find out. If I were smart enough, perhaps I could have avoided being in this situation to begin with. Indeed. But fear is a powerful thing. I was too frightened to fall into the same traps of my past that I decided to take in a little girl I knew nothing about. And now fear propels me to push towards the mall to save that girl I've grown attached to before the monster can get its paws on my companion. The word stings my throat. It doesn't quite feel right anymore. 15 means more to me than a simple traveling body. However, I don't have the right word for it. Not yet. Whatever I mean to say, I can lose 15 and to a monster of all things. I swallow hard to steel myself for the journey ahead, hoping above all that I won't have to do something I will regret later on. Yeah. I think I have to end the video right here. This visual novel is supposed to be around an hour? I guess 12k words. 12k words. I suppose that's actually more than an hour. So I think it will end in the next episode. I guess that's all for When We Were Monsters. I hope you enjoyed. I kinda enjoy the aesthetic. I kinda enjoy the theme they are bringing to this story. So see you later then in the next part. Bye bye!